So good morning, friends. We will start with Sqoop now, wherever we have paused. So far, we have. Let me log into the lab, and then I will demonstrate. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. And those who are on WebEx, please confirm that you guys can see my screen. And also, let me make sure that even the guys who are on YouTube can see my screen and you can listen to me. Can someone confirm that you guys can hear me on WebEx? Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we have switched to Sqoop workshop. I'm logging into my lab. I will create an exercise for you guys because we have covered the import almost entirely. There are few things which I have to cover, which I will be taking care. Today we will be covering Hive import, import command to import into Hive database, and also I will try to cover import all tables. And then I will give an exercise. I will give an exercise where you have to get the entire data set. I will explain as part of the exercise. Okay, again, the command which I will be using to explain is Sqoop help. If you give import, it will give all the options which are there as part of the import. If you need additional documentation, you just have to go to Sqoop user guide. And here we are talking about 1.4.6. You can click on this. Okay, and you can actually, if you want to get Sqoop import help, you can click on this. If you want to get Sqoop import all tables, you can click on this and it will give all the details. Okay, so now we are actually talking about Hive import. There are other imports also, such as HBase, hcatalog, etc. But I will not be covering those things because it is not as important as what I am covering. With the knowledge which you are getting as part of this training, in future, if you have to do these things, you just have to learn this HBase, hcatalog, and then you will be able to use. Okay, but Hive is very important, so I will be covering Hive. Okay, so before getting into Hive import, you just need to understand what Hive is. So when it comes to big data, you might be processing structured data and you might be processing unstructured data. Okay, so when it comes to processing structured data, if you use programming languages like Scala, Python, or Java MapReduce, it might take a lot more time than using SQL type of queries. So if a structure can be defined, nothing can beat a SQL query, right? So that's where SQL have a lot of prominence while dealing with structured data. It's a lot more easier to express the requirement in the form of select query or SQL query than expressing that as part in programming language. So SQL is nothing but interface to hide the complexities to process while processing the data which have structure on it. So when it comes to big data, we will be processing a lot of structured data also. So to leverage SQL knowledge, Facebook is the one which actually started this Hive. So they created a Hive project, and they try to use MapReduce internally. On top layer, you will be submitting select query, and that select query will be compiled into MapReduce, and then it will do the necessary processing. Here we don't need to get into select queries and all. We will be talking about those things later. I will start from basic SQL and I will get into the most complex SQL when we actually talk about Hive in detail. When it comes to Sqoop and Hive, it's all about using Sqoop to load data into Hive. Okay, from that context, you should know what is Hive table and how it is represented within HDFS, which is nothing but distributed file system. And then you should be able to use Sqoop import to load into Hive tables. So just basic knowledge of creating tables and then using those Hive tables as part of the Sqoop import is more than enough. Don't worry about SQL at this time. But the purpose of Hive is, after creating the table and after loading the data, you should be able to use select queries to process the data, which we will see a little bit later. So here you can launch Hive. It is very important for you to, because when we do Sqoop import with in Hive context, you should be able to validate. So you can launch Hive by saying Hive, and it will launch Hive console. And then when you actually log in, you will be connecting to a default database. So there is a parameter which will show which database you are currently connected to. So Hive display database name. Okay. There is a command. If any one of you have idea, please, yeah, this is the one. Okay. If you run set and paste that command and hit enter, it will display the current value. It's false. If you set it to true, now it will show which database you are connected to. Because ours is lab and many people can connect to this, all the signed up users can connect to this. There will be n number of databases. You can list the databases by saying show databases. There are 411 databases. For our purpose, the recommended approach is create a database with your name. So to create a database, you just have to run create database dgadiraju. It is already existing, that's why it failed. For you, it will create out if you run that command with your OS user. That way you will be able to relate. And also in future, when we have to clean up, we will be cleaning up all these miscellaneous names. I'll be writing a program which will get your OS user names, and I will clean up the databases. I will intimate, but that's the logic which I will use. So for our maintenance purposes and all, it will be easier to retain your databases only if you create the database with your login username, lab login username, which is this one in this case. For you, it should be your login ID, which you can get after logging into labs.itversity.com. Now, to switch to that database, you just have to say use and give the database name. Now it confirms that you are in that database. Okay. So let me paste this parameter for you so that you use that to avoid the confusion, to confirm that you are in the right database. Okay. So now, so when it comes to Sqoop import, either you can pre-create the table, or you can actually make sure the table is created at the time of import itself. Okay, first let me run the Sqoop import and make sure that table is created as part of the Sqoop import itself. And then we will see the scenario where we will create the table upfront and then use Sqoop import. There are certain parameters which you need to understand when you are trying to integrate Sqoop and Hive. I will highlight those things also. Okay, and this also will take time. Probably today and tomorrow, at least half of time, we will be focusing on Hive import, and then we will get into import all tables. And this is a very, very important topic. So I'm exiting here, going back to Sqoop help import command. Okay. So so let's go through these parameters. So these are the Hive arguments which you need to be familiar with. Hive table, it will just tell what is the Hive table which you want to use when importing. So partitioning are a little bit advanced. We will probably see later if time permits. Otherwise, it's not very important from the certification perspective, but you can actually explore. And if you have any challenges understanding these things, you can come back to me on discuss.itversity.com, and I will try to come up with a solution. So Hive table is the most important parameter, where if the source table name which you are reading from the MySQL and the target table name are different, you can say Hive table. Okay, and it will actually create the table for you. So let me run with let me run just saying Hive import, and then Hive database is the parameter which can where we can pass the database name, and Hive table is the table name where we want to import into. Okay, so now let me go to Hive and connect to use Digadi Raju and show tables. There are no tables in this. Okay, now I am coming back to here, running the Sqoop import command. It starts same connect jdbc.mysql and then 01.itversity.com 3306 and retail underscore db is the database name. Let me copy this one and let me use Sublime Text, so that if there's any errors, I can fix here and then paste there. That will be easier. And then username and password we can copy from here. So we have seen several other parameters. One of the most important parameter is table, to get the table name, to get the data from a given table in a MySQL database. And here I am trying to read order items. Okay, and then here to make it as an Hive import, you have to say Hive import. It is a flag. So there is a question here. Okay, thank you very much to spot that error, Manjunath. It is JDBC column. Yeah. So Hive import is the flag which says perform an Hive import on this table. So when we say just Hive import, let's see what will happen. Here I'm not giving any database name and table name. What it will do is it will try to import into the default database. And if there is a table with that name already, most likely it will fail. Let us see. And here we didn't specify the target directory. We just say Hive import. And let us see what will happen. So what happened? It has actually created a table under default database with order items, and it copied to that. Okay, let us see. Hive and describe order items. Okay. So there are 6 fields in this table, and to confirm that this table is created just now, or there could be 2 scenarios. The table might be already existing and data might be inserted into that, and the table might be pre-existing and data might be inserted into that. So first we need to validate. That we can do by running select query on this and see how many rows are there. And the import says 172,198 records are imported. So if it is imported for the first time, if there is no prior data, then it should return only 172,198. Let us see how many records it will return. So this is a simple select query, and you can see it is actually running a MapReduce job. Don't worry too much about these things, but just make sure you understand that whenever you run a select query, it will actually run a MapReduce job and it will get the results for you. And we will understand what is that MapReduce and how it will retrieve these results when we actually speak about Hive, talk about Hive. So here it is showing 172,198 records. And also, to get the details about the table, like create time, etc., you can say describe formatted. Earlier I ran describe command and it lists 6 fields. Now I am running describe formatted command and then saying order items, which is table name. And here it will give the details when the table is created. Table is created just now, January 31st, 1:33 Eastern time. So table is created just now. So as part of the Sqoop import, when we just say this Hive import, it will try to copy the data by creating the Hive table in the default database with the same name as the table name. That is the default behavior. And Hive import is the only command or only control argument which will tell that it has to do in the it has to create a Hive table and load data into the Hive table. Now, if I rerun again, I'm trying to rerun again, and the default behavior is just to append to the existing table. So after this, the directory will have, the table will have 172,198 into 2, which is approximately 396 records. 344,396 records. So you can see the data is copied. And if you don't want to do that, if the table already exists, if you don't want to do that, if you want the Sqoop import to be failed, that's where a very misleading, I don't know why they name it like that, it's very misleading argument comes into picture, which is create Hive table. Okay, you can see the description here. It says if create Hive table is used, if the target Hive table exists, it will fail. Now if I add this one, when you actually go through the documentation, your intuition says that you have to use this to create the Hive table, but you have to get to the it's an open source technology. Open source always beats your intuition. You have to be more conscious when it comes to dealing with open source, and you have to try and make sure it works as it is explained as part of the documentation. Okay, so this is against intuitive. You have to use this create Hive table control argument to make sure that it does not append to the existing table. If you want to overwrite, instead of using create Hive table, you have to use Hive overwrite. So either you have to use this one or use this one. Okay. So if the table already exists, if you want to overwrite it, you have to use Hive overwrite. If you want to fail without overwriting, you have to use this one. So that is the purpose of Hive overwrite and create Hive table. In this case, I am demonstrating using create Hive table. Hive overwrite is more intuitive, so I don't want to demonstrate that, but I have explained. If you do not understand, let me know, I will explain again. So let me demonstrate with create Hive table. And one more caveat is it will not fail immediately. It will first actually do the Sqoop import into a stage location, and while loading into Hive, it will fail. So if you understand this flow, you will get to know. So I will explain the flow where it is failing. See here, it says order items already exists. So now let us go back what actually happened when we run Sqoop import command. It has executed the bonding values query. min order item ID and maximum order item ID 1 and 172,198, and then based on that it has determined the split sizes, and then it actually copied the data. Okay, where it copied the data, I will show you in a moment. It's a stage location within HDFS itself. Hive table is also HDFS, and also the stage location where Sqoop actually import the data is also HDFS location. It will copy it to a stage location. Once the data is copied, then it actually try to load data into Hive table. While loading into Hive, because we are using the -- create Hive table control argument, which means that don't override or append to the existing table if the table already exists. Okay, that's when it actually failing. Now, if you run this Hadoop command, this is very important to understand. Hadoop ss -ls user dgadiraju and hit enter. Okay, you find a directory with order items. And it is created just now. Right now it's 141. It's just created 2 minutes back when I ran this Sqoop import command. And this one is created as part of the Sqoop import. So this is the stage location where Sqoop import actually copies the data. Okay, and then it will actually load into Hive table. Because it failed, so the life cycle is first to copy into this location in our home directory with the table name, and then load into Hive table. If it is successful, delete this directory. If it fails, then the directory will not be deleted. Now, if I run the Sqoop import again without create Hive table, the original one, and hit enter, it will. The expectation is get the data and copy data into our Hive table. But now in the beginning itself, it failed because the directory already exists. Because the previous Sqoop import actually did not go through successfully. The stage directory which is created by Sqoop import is not deleted. Okay, that's why it is failing. Now, if I say Hadoop fsrm -r user dgadiraju order items and hit enter, it will be deleted, and then we can use Sqoop import command. Yes, we will talk about those things a little bit later. Whatever we are doing is all in HDFS. And to cut the long story short, yes, all the replication and worker nodes, everything will be as is. There will be no difference. Yeah, I'm going there, Anil. We will be using different table name, different database, and all those things. So I hope everyone have clarity about 3 parameters which I have covered so far. Those 3 parameters are Hive import, which is like a main switch to tell do it as a Hive import, and the default behavior is it will try to use the default database with the same table as the table which we are trying to read, and it will create a table name in the default database. And if the table already exists, it will just append to the existing table. If you want to overwrite, you have to use Hive overwrite. It will drop the existing table and recreate the table, and then load the data. And or you can use create Hive table if you just want to fail if the table already exists. So we have covered Hive import, Hive overwrite, and create Hive table. Now the ideal scenario is I want to use my own database to copy this data. Hence I can use Hive database. If I say Hive database and if I give dgadiraju, now the table will be created in my database. If I want to copy into a different table name than the source table name, I can use Hive table. Okay, so that's how you can use the combination of these parameters and get things done. So these are the most important parameters: create Hive table, Hive database, Hive import. And this is the most important: Hive overwrite and Hive table. Okay. And then there is another parameter called map column type. So this one overrides mapping for specific column to Hive types. So this is to actually map data types. It's not like columns where you fetch certain columns and fetch data only from certain columns from the source. This is different. This is to map the data types of one column on the source into some other data type in Hive. So for that, you need to have understanding about Hive data types and all. So we will see that after a while. For now, let us do the demonstration using Hive database and Hive table. Okay. So now within this itself, I'm saying create Hive table. Like I'm leaving like that only. Hive database. I want to use dgazraju as database, and then Hive table. I can give whatever name I want. Here I am giving order items itself. Okay, and if you want, there is another way also. You can just delete this and use the database name as prefix, like this. Dgazraju is the database name dot table name. You can choose either way. Either you say Hive database, give the Hive database and give only table name here, or you can say Hive table and actually give the database name dot table name. And now I am running this. Because I have deleted the order items earlier, under /user /dgazraju, now import will go through. So now the MapReduce job is running. So it will create 4 threads, connect to the source database, get the data. By this time, the import is done to the stage directory. Then it has actually loaded data into the dgazraju.order items table. And then after that, it will actually clean up. Now if I say Hadoop, because the import is successful, now if I say Hadoop ss-ls user dgazraju and hit enter, you will not find order items now. Because the import is successful, the directory will be automatically deleted. Okay, ideally, even when I ran the Sqoop import earlier, they should have thrown an exception. Okay, here it says order items already exist, which is table already exists because we are using create Hive table. Here they should also say that you might have the user dgazraju order items table order items directory in the middle. Just delete it, but they don't say that. Okay. So let me complete this Priyanshu, then I will explain whether we can import limited columns of a table to Hive. Just hold on to that for a moment. Let me first review what we have done as part of the last import command. We have ran the Sqoop import command with this, and now I am logging into Hive. It will launch Hive. Now I am going to dgazraju. If you remember earlier, there are no tables in this. Now if I run show tables, there is a table called order items. I can say describe formatted order items and hit enter. You can see the data types of the columns, the create time, which is just 146, so 2-3 minutes behind, and then few other metadata, which I will explain. One of the things which you need to focus on this is on this path. Okay, so this is nothing but a HDFS directory. This is what Ravindra have asked earlier. Okay, this is nothing but HDFS directory. So if you closely observe, there is a logic within this path. /apps/hive/warehouse is the warehouse directory when we set up as part of Hadoop cluster setup. Okay, and this is determined by, here I am logging into the gateway node with using another session. Either you can actually check using Ambari, or you can do it from the command line also. So every time I am showing both because you understand how you can get the information about these configuration properties. Sometimes you might not have access to Ambari. In that case, you should be able to get the details using command line also. That's why I'm showing both. Okay, here we are talking about Hive. So go to Hive, go to configs, and search for warehouse. So you can see Hive Metastore warehouse directory /apps Hive /apps/Hive/warehouse is the base HDFS directory where our databases and tables will be. And for default database, the tables will directly go to this location. For non-default databases, there will be a directory under this location with extension .db. So that's why if you go here, there is a subdirectory under this which says dgazraju.db, which is nothing but dgazraju is my database name, and .db represents, it's a directory related to a database in within Hive context. And then there is a subdirectory within that database, a directory which represents the database with my table name, which is order_items. So that is the logic behind this. And to get this information from the command line, there are multiple ways. You can go to etc hive. So for each and every technology, there will be a subdirectory under /etc. It's a standard location. In some cases, they might use different location. You have to check with administrators to get the details. But typically, this is the standard location. You can go to etc hive conf, and then there is hivesite.xml file. You can go to hivesite.xml and search for warehouse, and it will give the Hive Metastore warehouse directory value, which is the apps Hive warehouse. And also you can copy this parameter, and within the Hive context, you can say the parameter name, and it will give the value of it. So /apps/Hive warehouse is the location. Okay. To confirm that there are files in this location, you can copy this path and you can run DFS. DFS is nothing but Hadoop FS. This is a Hive command for Hadoop FS, Hive alias for Hadoop LS. Is it for everyone or is it only for Mayuresh? Hello? Yeah, Mayuresh, it's with you only. So probably you might have to reconnect or something. Okay. Anyway, you will he will get WebEx. Okay, sure. Yeah, you will get the recorded session. If you miss anything, you can actually go through it. So DFS is nothing but shortcut for Hadoop FS. Hadoop FS works within Linux command line interface, Linux kernel, Linux shell. Here we are in Hive command line. So Hadoop FS will not work. Instead, you have to use DFS. Okay. And then you can say DFS-ls and give the path. And every command in Hive should end with the semicolon. So we have to use semicolon and hit enter. Now you can see that files are created in that location. And this HDFS path is not mandatory. If you want, you can delete this. And you can get the information. Okay. So what's happening? This is the base directory of our Hive. And then this is the directory for my database. When I ran create database, it will create with that name with .db extension. And then when I did Hive import, it has issued a create table command that actually creates a table with the table name. And then the imported data will be following the standard of Sqoop import. So this is how it will look like. Now, as Ravindra have asked, I can run HDFS FSCK on that path. Okay, and save files, blocks, and if you are interested, you can get locations also, and you can get all the details of those files. So these are nothing but typical HDFS files which follow the where the files will be converted to blocks, and those blocks will be physically located in the worker nodes following the replication factor. The default is 3. Okay. So this is how everything is related. So now let's preview the data. Import is done, but unless you validate, you should not confirm that the import is successful. The way you can validate is you can just say select star from order items. It follows ASCII standard, which is in line with MySQL and Postgres. So to get only 10 records for preview, you just have to say limit 10 and hit enter, and you will see 10 records just for the preview. There are 6 fields. Each field is separated by tab, and you can see the data. So this is how you can confirm that the import is successful. Okay. So far what we have seen. Sqoop help, import, we have seen create Hive table, Hive database. So Hive delimiters replacement, I will cover a little bit later. Hive home is, if your Hive home is different, so it is while running Sqoop import commands. If you have manually configured Hive, it's a very good question, Ravindra. I will answer that. So Hive home is primarily to tell where your Hive is, so that Sqoop can read hivesite.xml and act accordingly. When we actually use Ambari or Hortonworks distribution or Cloudera distribution to set up the cluster, you don't need to worry much about Hive home. But in manual installations, Hive home might be in a different location, and you might not have environment variable. In that scenario, to access hivesite.xml and other Hive binaries, you might have to set this Hive home. Otherwise, you don't need to. It's not very important. And then Hive import, we have seen Hive overwrite, I have explained. Hive table, I have explained. Okay. We will get into map column Hive. So someone have asked earlier, can we import limited columns of a table to Hive? We will get into that now. So meanwhile, Ravindra have asked whether the select uses MapReduce. It's a very, very good question. I'm glad you have asked. That means you are following it very closely. Even though you don't understand a lot of internals, you are still following very closely. So there are few things here. Typically, any select query will run MapReduce job. So if I run select count, from order items, it will actually launch a MapReduce job. Even simple count query will run MapReduce job. Most of the select queries will run MapReduce job, except this exception. Okay, so in this case, what we are saying, I just want to preview few records, and I'm passing that limit 10 or limit 100. So what, instead of using MapReduce, what these guys have done is, for these simpler queries where there is no filtering or transformations involved, in those cases, instead of running MapReduce, they are using HDFS APIs and printing only few records from the files directly. Okay, here they are not using MapReduce APIs. They are just using HDFS APIs. HDFS itself have a package called org.apache.hadoop.fs. So this is the HDFS package. Okay, you can go to grep code and get the latest, and you can go through the APIs or source code of it, or you can also go to you can also go through Java docs for this, and you can understand what all APIs, what all classes that are available in that package. So that package have typical classes for IO. Okay, so it will use those classes to display. That's why it is very fast to display those 10 records, whereas for count it took some time. Okay, so only in this exceptional scenario where you want to preview the data without applying any filter condition, it does not use MapReduce. Otherwise, for all the select queries, it will use MapReduce. Okay, I hope I answered your question. If you still have any doubts, let me know. I will clarify. Meanwhile, let me get back to the point. Point of Priyanshu, where he asked, can we import limited columns of a table to Hive? Yes. So yes, we can. And the way we can do it is, let's say, I want to override the existing table. Good attempt, Anil. I will explain. Very good attempt. Either you can actually use query instead of table, and also even along with table. That is one way of doing it. Another way is calls. You can say the calls, and then you can give the column names. So if you go to the Sqoop import documentation, if you scroll up, sorry, columns, not calls. We have columns, and we can actually fetch whatever columns we want. I can say columns, and here let's say I want to get order item ID. Order item, order ID. I think I should not, let us try with double quotes. If it does not work, we will remove the double quotes. Order item, order ID, order item product ID, and let's say we want order item subtotal. Okay, now we will try to use this one and see whether it works or not. And hit enter. Okay, it is done now. Now I'm launching Hive here. Use Raju. Select star from order items, limit 10. Okay, so here what happened, it fetched 4 fields. So there is some issue. So it did not work as expected. So let me drop this table and see if it solves the issue. Okay. So let us see. Yeah. So we have to drop and recreate because the table is already existing. Probably it might be only deleting the existing files and recreating the files, but the structure remains same. That's why it didn't work earlier, but now it worked. So this is how you can do. And also, as Anil mentioned, you can also specify the query here. And then select from order items. You can do this also. Okay, to limit the columns. And then let us see the first. Let us understand the little bit of details about data types. Okay, so here we have only the numeric data types in this table. Even with all the 6 columns also, we have quantity and product price. they are also numeric values only. So you should understand the relationship between the MySQL or underlying relational database from which we are doing the Sqoop import and the Hive data types. Then we will understand the relevance of that map column name parameter. Okay, so if I go here under the Hive import, there is a map column Hive also, right? So to understand the relevance of this, first this one. First, you need to understand that the relationship between the data types on the source database and the data types in the Hive tables. Let's take the example of orders rather than order items. Now, I'm connecting to MySQL as retail_dba h nn01.itversity.com and -p. Password is itversity. Use retail_db and show tables. There are all these tables. Let's describe orders. Okay, so there is one type. There are two types. One is order date, which is of type date time, and another is order status, which is of type varchar. So let us import this table. Okay, I'm using the same Sqoop import. I will take another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will resume tomorrow. Okay, so table. I'm trying to create orders. So in this case, I'm demonstrating using Hive database as this one. And then Hive table. Table name is orders. Okay, now let us import this one and see what will happen. So let me exit from here. Meanwhile, let me go through a little bit about the map column name so that I don't mislead you. Map column Hive. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, so now it is imported. Here the data type is order ID int, order date date time, order customer ID int, and order status varchar. Now let us go to Hive, use Raju, and then describe orders. You can see order date and order status are automatically converted to string. Okay, actually in Hive, especially in the earlier version, you cannot even specify the data type as timestamp or varchar, etc. Now we have, but they are all informational. Internally, Hive only consider all these alphanumeric types as string. Okay, so here automatically these data types are converted to string. Okay, and these data types are converted to int. Okay, sometimes we might want to convert, change this data type to big int and this one to varchar. Okay, so in those cases, and again, varchar also internally represented will be represented as string only, but for informational purposes, when we talk about Hive in detail, I will explain the main reasons behind why these varchar and all are supported. Even though you at the higher level, when you create the table, you create it as varchar, internally it will consider it as string only. Hive will consider it as string only. Okay, but as part of the Sqoop import, in this case, let's say I want to convert the order ID type as big int. That we can do by saying Let me drop this table. Exit. And here I can say map column hive. We have to give all the columns which you want to specify, on which we want to override the data types. Here I want to only change order item ID as begin. And now I can actually run this here. So far we are trying to run Sqoop import where tables are being created. Okay, tomorrow we will pre-create the table and then we will actually do the import. Behavior will be same. Only thing is I will just explain how the tables are created and then import. And then there are certain things which needs to be covered as part of that process. When the create tables have to be run manually, there are certain things which you need to keep in mind, such as field delimiters, etc. And we will see that tomorrow. Okay. Okay, here it is saying order item ID is not there. Okay, I have to say order ID. Again, as the previous import is deleted in the middle, is failed in the middle, we have to make sure we clean up this location, user, D Gajraju, orders. Once you delete that, it is deleted, it is created, but it was not deleted because the import failed in the middle. Now we can copy this one from here and hit enter. And then now data is being copied without any issues. Okay. Now if I go to Hive, use my database name, show tables, to see the orders table, and then describe orders. You can see order ID is converted to begin. So map column hive is actually to change the data type at the time of import. Okay, and then again I will be reviewing this describe formatted command. It is very, very important command in Hive. And for review these things, and we will cover tomorrow. Okay, let's compare the data which is imported earlier without Hive import and the data which is imported through Hive import, and see the difference, and then we will wrap up for today. Okay, so I have ran Hive import earlier also into this location, and we have order items. And if you want to cat, you can take this path, and then you can say path M1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hit enter. Oh, I did cat instead of tail. You can see that data is comma delimited. Whereas in the new location where Sqoop import is done into Hive table, which is this one, apps Hive warehouse dgajraju.db, because I have created a table under that, and then orders. Okay, there are these files. I'm running Hadoop fs-get command to get this directory into local file system. Okay, and then cd orders and go to one of the file. And you can see the delimiter is the ASCII code 1. I think it's this one. Okay, and which is represented by control here. This is the default delimiter in Hive. So Sqoop is actually using that default delimiter when the import is done into a Hive table. Okay. If you directly try to read it using tail command, Hadoop fs-tail, on this location, you see everything is concatenated together because there is a null character, and tail or cat will not display those things. That's why I copied to my local file system and used view to actually show you how the data is saved when we use Sqoop import into the Hive table. So when it comes to Sqoop import, the default one will take care of handling this delimiter issue. It is hidden to us. But when we try to pre-create the table, we need to make sure that Sqoop and Hive can be integrated together without running into inconsistencies with respect to data. That we will see that tomorrow. Okay. So that being said, today we have covered most of the important Hive import arguments while creating the table as part of the Sqoop import. Tomorrow we will continue about pre-creating the table and do the Sqoop import, and then we will get into the import all tables, and then we will come back and review what are all not covered, and we will try to explore those things. Yes, incremental import will be covered. That is for sure. No, it is not part of Hive import. So there are two questions. We will discuss incremental import, and then is it part of Hive import? No, it is not part of Hive import. We will talk about incremental import also. So when we actually review, we will come to know what all being missed, and I will cover all the important ones. Anyway, good that you are on top of it, and we will see that. It's all same, compression and compression codecs. It's all same the way we have done with Sqoop import. Here, what it is doing, it is actually importing into a stage location, and from there it is actually loading into Hive table, right? So the compression will be done as part of the Sqoop import itself, and based upon the delimiters which are defined, or default delimiters which are inherited, it will take care of compression and applying that compression codec, and then it will actually load into the Hive table. We will see that also as part of the demo, probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay. That being said, if you have any questions, let me know. We will not miss any of the important parameters. We will cover all the important parameters, because after completing this course, you should be confident enough to go and give any certification within 1 week. That's the main intention of this. So practice, and if you have any questions, come back with those questions. Even if we exceed 2 hours, I will be glad to explain those things with you and clarify your doubts. But the main intention is you should be able to give the certification immediately after completing this course. If you have to revision in the middle, please do so, and make sure you gain confidence to give the certification immediately after we complete the course. Okay. Any other question? So I will give a couple of. I will wait for 15 seconds. If there is no question, I will wrap up. If you have a longer question and if you are typing, just say that you are typing, and then I will wait until you complete that, and then I will take up the question. Otherwise, we will wrap up. Probably 10 more seconds. Five more seconds. It seems there are no more questions, so we'll catch up tomorrow. Thank you very much. I'm stopping this. And those who are on YouTube Live, thank you very much for attending today's session also. We will continue this going forward, and you please join. And again, if you like the content of it, please click on the like button, or if you want to share with your friends, select this button and share on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. And if you want to have an environment to practice, as I have been mentioning as part of earlier sessions, you can go to labs.itversity.com, sign up for it, and the plans are $14.95 for 31 days, $34.95 for 93 days, and $54.95 for 185 days. And you can start practicing. You can prepare for certifications, going through my content, etc. Even if you don't have the environment, still you can follow and use your own environment and prepare, and we will be glad to support. As long as you have decent laptop or decent cluster, we will be able to support your issues without any issues. And for the support purpose, you have to sign up to discuss.itversity.com. This is the website, discuss.itversity.com. Or you can also go to the labs. In the labs, you will see the forums. You can click on this and you can go to the discuss.itversity.com and you can start asking the questions. And while asking the questions, make sure you are in the appropriate category. Okay, so you can go to the discourse and then choose a category and write the topic, or you can directly write the topic and choose a category. If, as we are talking about Sqoop, you can create a Sqoop topic in Sqoop category and you can ask the question. Okay, and that being said, thank you very much for joining this, and stay tuned. There are 35 or 34 more sessions where I will be covering the curriculum related to multiple certifications that are well recognized by the industry. Thank you very much. Bye.